Chelsea's next shortstopper, Mike Maignan, is a serial winner. In 2021, after he had edged the French side Lille to win the French League, he assisted the senior French national team to win the UEFA Nations League the same year. This made him very appealing to Italian side AC Milan, leading them to hiring his services and moving him to Milan. The following year, 2022, he edged the Italian side to win the Scudetto. Even in the recent season, with all the predicaments of the Italian side, he still edged Milan to winning the Supercoppa Italia. Given his spectacular performances in 2023, the Blues were very keen to hiring the services of the Frenchman, but they were freed away by 80 million euros that was slashed on the French goalkeeper. Since then, his contract has stalled, and as I speak, he has just 1 year left on his contract with Milan, and at this point, it's looking more likely that in next season, he will be leaving on a free. At this point, Milan has no option than to sell their talisman or lose him on a free. The Italian side, knowing the fact that the Blues are very keen to making this deal happen, they intend to scoop a good £25 million from a goalkeeper who has just 1 year left on his contract, which Chelsea are not ready to pay. But it's looking more likely at this point that he will be arriving at the bridge this season. Should this happen, Robert Sanchez is already through the outdoor. Already he has said it, that if he is unable to maintain his number one spot in the Chelsea's goalkeeping situation, he will leave. Then the next is Petrovic. Before he left for a season-long loan with the French side Strasbourg, sister club of the Blues, he sat with Chelsea's sporting directors and he was promised that should he perform and come back to the club, he will be given the opportunity to compete for the number one spot with the likes of Jorgensen and Robert Sanchez. But it looks more likely for him also that at this point, should Maignan arrive at the bridge, he would also be heading out. But he is a goalkeeper who has had lots of admirers all across Europe. But it looks more likely that should this be the situation, he might be saying yes to French side Monaco. The next goalkeeper equally entangled in the intricacy of this situation is Mike Maignan, a goalkeeper the Blues deem as the next Thibaut Courtois. They think he is tailor-made for the Premier League, but at just 19 years, he is simply not ready, and so like it happened for Petrovic last season, he would likely be heading out for a season-long loan with sister club Strasbourg. But Maignan is a goalkeeper with a lot of admirers across Europe, most likely also joining his origin, the club he was signed from, Genk, as they equally wish to keep him for one season-long loan. If you're an AC Milan fan, you are set to be consoled with the arrival of a free agent, Luka Modric, the legend of the game from Real Madrid, upon the loss of possibly your top goalkeeper in Mike, and also departure of Reinders, which I'm about to get to. To the big news that came from Manchester United and to all the fans, stating that Bruno Fernandez had said a very big yes to Manchester United and a no to Saudi side Al Hilal. To the story, Bruno had a very big impedance to his acceptance of the most lucrative deal of his life, £100 million to Manchester United and a €200 million promise for Bruno. Obviously, it was a deal he could not have rejected, but given his family's stance of not quitting England and moving to Saudi, he could not override the decision of the family. Then secondly, Amorim always on him on daily and hourly basis, begging Bruno to stay at the club for both of them and the rest of the players to redeem the club, finding themselves in this predicament. It was very key for United to keep these figures. At Chelsea, Liam Delap, as it's been reported, has finally completed his medical and all that is left is unveiling. He would forfeit his under-21 championship tournament with England side and join for the Club World Cup. In fact, after this deal, there's been lots of talks about Chelsea's next target for another striker. As you can see from the stats, according to Chelsea's data analyst, they had a similar outcome on their analysis they made on the top strikers available in Europe for this window. And they were very optimistic that Ekitike was the most suitable attacker for their system. But Enzo Maresca and Joe Schild apparently had different opinion and how to prioritize their option in Delap. After the signing or the medicals with Delap, Enzo Maresca, Joe Schultz, the sporting directors sat, and it was made clear in the meeting that we were initially linked to Matthias Stel, then later João Pedro. And in all of these deals, we wanted a specific accomplishment of task, which is a forward-minded player who can play in inside forward position. Now that we are keen to bring Gittens, who is just 19, it's very important we find a player which, according to our data, was very suitable, who can play at that position, augmenting the efforts of Gittens, and also can equally provide services in the middle space, providing or playing as a striker. Lest I forget, FIFA has promised that the first club that wins the new reformed FIFA Club World Cup, this maiden winner of the competition, will be given a crest made of the Club World Cup. Then this club will bear this badge on their jersey for the next 4 years. But at this point, I'm not very sure, it being the maiden winner or FIFA, which party is going to pay each other for this deal. If you have any opinion, please let me know in the comment section. At Manchester City, it's a here we go, as they've agreed on a 70 million euros for the services of AC Milan's talisman Tijani Reinders. At this point, Morgan Gibbs White's deal is very unlikely. At Liverpool, even as they continue to struggle with negotiations for Florent Wirtz's deal, they are pushing their interest and attention, and now are on the verge of agreeing on a £40 million deal for Milos Kerkez of Bournemouth. Manchester United, after finishing Matheus Cunha's deal, now intensified their interest in Bryan Mbeumo. It's a very likely deal to be accomplished by United. At FC Barcelona, it's now done between the Catalonians and Joan Garcia, a contract that will span over the period of 5 years, a goalkeeper that comes in, and with the possible displacement for Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Still at FC Barcelona, there is a keen interest on hiring the services of out-of-contract free agent from Arsenal, Ghanaian international Thomas Partey. It's a deal that seems likely to be accomplished, but it's not a done deal yet, as Thomas Partey still expresses interest in extending his contract with Arsenal. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and make sure you turn on notifications so we can meet here in the next hours.